tolerance, demonstrating respect for others who do not share my perspective.
My name's John Workman. I'm a First Sergeant in the Oklahoma National Guard, 179 Infantry Battalion, based out of Enid, Oklahoma. When we were deployed to Afghanistan, specifically in 2011, that tolerance really played a part in that, because as we discovered, the average Afghan citizen there just wants to, be left alone to raise their family and live their lives normally. And being tolerant of that and realizing that and internalizing that value allows you to operate in that asymmetric warfare environment and work against the insurgent forces that are trying to interdict all that, and then be either kinetic or non-kinetic. That was our role every day. Tolerance was something you woke up with and you went to bed with every day. It had to be forefront in my mind and my soldiers' minds all the time.
Once that weapon squad's established in there, you're going to hit the next house. Which will be...
We're citizen soldiers. We are also those same citizens who have the right to assemble freely and protest and make their voice heard. And that directly translates to the positive execution of that mission, because as the Guard soldier on the line, ensuring that peace can prevail and the violence doesn't burn a city to the ground, you realize that you're there fulfilling that role and need there. This is me upholding the Constitution and the rights at the same time as the person maybe yelling at me across the line, as I'm there for you in a way. And that, to me, is the tolerance of that, and it speaks of it. I'm tolerant because I'm here for that. I respect their First Amendment rights, and I'm doing the same thing by being tolerant to that. And you absolutely must have it, because if you don't have the high level of tolerance and respect on that, you won't be able to perform that mission at all, and it gets out of hand.
Tolerance is respecting one another, because we all come from different realms of life. We all have different experiences. And so if we respect one another, we respect each other's perspective. When we do that, we create a stronger team, a stronger organization, and a stronger culture.
Respecting diversity and learning from other perspectives, it's a very, very prominent part of being in the U.S. military. It's a global force. We're all over the place, so you're going to interact with multiple cultures. A good example was my first, as a young soldier, was in Korea for a year. That's a very different culture from the most recent headlines of Afghanistan, Iraq, and things like that. So working with their culture, they're very much more hive-minded. They're more, they work together as groups to accomplish large tasks, and they don't think of the self so much before the group. So I took from that some things and made me better, made me a better leader in that circumstance, and then played forward for the next dozen years to help me work through the next cultural encounter over in the Middle East.
Tolerant people have this way of looking past social, generational, and cultural barriers to really connect with others' hearts. When you respect one another, you know where they're coming from, and you want to know more. It's important for us to understand one another so we can move forward, so we can work more collaboratively as a team. And when we look at a challenge, if we all have a different perspective, it's going to create a better solution when we're all working together.
You have to respect the individual enough to know when to step back and say, hey, this is the opportunity for you to grow. So I will step away, and this mission we're doing, or this event, or whatever it may be, whether to succeed or fail, and maybe the learning point is that it didn't go so well and we failed this time. That to me is a form of tolerance, and shows that you're a better leader, and you're at that next level, that you can do that. You can pull the good out of that situation by letting this group or this individual that you're mentoring say, hey, this didn't go so well because of this was your idea, but it didn't work. So let's go back to the drawing board and try this again. So to me, that's very tolerant as a senior leader.
It is so important that we give people room to grow, because as most of us know as adults, we learn best by listening to something, seeing something, and then actually doing something. We have to make our own mistakes, because once we make a mistake, we typically learn from that. We get the full picture. There's no substitute for experience. Once we experience something, we know it, we live it, and then hopefully we will do it again. And this also provides us an opportunity to be more tolerant of others, because we all make mistakes.
We can circle this all the way back to a first sergeant in the United States Army. You are the standard bearer. I must and will always uphold the standard. To me, tolerance, as it relates to this, is I am tolerant of the standard, and that's what I will always do. And it is the epitome of leadership at my level. You set the standard, you don't bend it, you don't ask others to do the standard if you're not going to do it yourself. Lead from the front, always do the right thing even if others aren't looking. It creates, to me, a level of leadership knowledge and makes you tolerant of, it can make you tolerant of the current situation and of those around you, and just leads to overall team cohesion that's what everyone strives for, to make a tolerant, inclusive environment for your team, whatever it may be.
Tolerance is not an excuse to avoid situations. We have to address those issues. If something is going on within our organization with a coworker, we need to go to that coworker immediately, address that situation. We can still do it respectfully, but it's not an excuse to avoid. We have to uphold our role, and we have to be a role model when it comes to addressing those situations. When there is a problem and it's not addressed, there's going to be bigger issues within the organization. When I actually address an issue, I'm upholding a standard, and everyone around us can understand that that is the standard. And so whenever we model something for our people, they recognize it, they think that's what I need to be doing. Whatever we recognize, we get more of. So when people recognize that I'm addressing an issue, they're also going to uphold that same standard.
Remember these points. Try to understand, give room to grow, and uphold the standard.